Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 606 brings activities that go on in every corner of the state out of the darkness and into the light. It legalizes sports wagering and regulates it. It regulates the daily fantasy sports, which goes on openly on U.S. companies today, and it legalizes and regulates online poker. The American Gaming Association estimates that over $2 billion a year is wagered illegally on sports in Kentucky. We know that it surrounds us in almost every state except for Missouri. It's legal in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, and Tennessee. I believe, Mr. Speaker, that the people of Kentucky deserve the opportunity to do something they enjoy with the protections and regulation of their governments. The fact is, we've been betting on sports in America since they invented sports. And I think it's time, now that the federal government and the Supreme Court have decided that states can do it. In 4 years, we've gone from one state legalizing it now to 33 in the District of Columbia. I think it's a well-known issue. We confine in-person wagering to existing facilities. There's some questions about the language. I've looked into it. And the intention was to have it at the currently existing facilities. And the way it reads, and I checked with the drafter, there's it says 2 facilities. And so it needs a little clarification to make sure that it's at the existing facilities. Certainly that was my intention. And that's going to get worked on if necessary as we look into it further. But at this moment, let's talk about the limited amount of existing facilities where you can do it in person, and then a mobile app where you'll be able to do it within the confines of the state of Kentucky. I do have a floor amendment, Mr. Speaker, to clarify one issue. I believe it's Floor Amendment 1. I would ask the clerk to report it.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 606.
Gentleman Kent.
This just clears up a little thing in the tax when on the in-person and mobile wagering. They're taxed differently. One said adjusted gross revenue, the other didn't, and this just makes sure that both say that they're taxed on their adjusted gross revenue. Move passage of House Floor Amendment 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman Kenton.
I think it's important to note, Mr. Speaker, that this bill also directs the revenue to our pension system. The revenue generated 3 years ago, the estimate would be on average about $22.5 million. Given how many states have overdone their projections, exceeded their projections, I think $22.5 million is probably a minimum. But I can get into the details, or Mr. Speaker, the hour is late already. I'm sure I'll have questions to answer, but I would move adoption of House Bill 606 with House Floor Amendment 1.